How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about saving, especially in high school slash college, more of college, and just financial literacy and things of that sort. I'm still sick, so not sounding the greatest right now, but um, let's get started. And I have a couple notes written on my second monitor here that I will be talking about. Um, so the first thing I have to say is start as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Like what they say about growing trees, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. Same thing with saving. The best time to save was yesterday. But obviously, can't go back in time, so start today. A lot of the time, you're gonna have money in either a checking account or a savings account, whatever bank you bank with. For me, originally it was Chase. I had a kids checking account when I was younger, and I had a savings account with Chase that my parents put money in because I was working a little bit at the time, and it would just sit there, right? I had too much money in my checking. I knew not to spend it a lot, and I knew to save money, but it was just sitting there. Nothing was happening with it. It wasn't growing. It was just sitting there. And what was in my savings account had such a marginal minimum return yield that it was almost you couldn't even notice the difference. I couldn't think of the word. But I think the APY was 0.05% or something like that. Something so small where if you have $1,000 in your savings account, it would go up by like 5 cents or something like that. Something extremely small. And it just sat there. It didn't grow at all, or it did grow technically in my savings, but it just didn't grow a lot. Gosh. Yeah, so it just sat there, and I lost a lot of potential savings and a lot of potential growth from that. But within the last year, I discovered high yield savings accounts, also known as HYSAs, high yield savings accounts. They have significantly higher APYs. APY stands for annual percentage yield, which is pretty much just how much you earn at the end of the year, percentage based. And they range from 2 to 4.5%. I don't know the exact percentages, especially with inflation and other things going on. But I discovered them and I did some research. And you want to move your money from your savings accounts that you have with regular banks into these HYSAs. They're going to yield a lot more money. Obviously, comparing a 0.05% APY to a 3.5% APY, which is what I have now. I have my money in a American Express high yield savings account, just because that's what I'm comfortable with. They have really good assistance and help, and they have like 24/7 service. And anyways, they have really good like services and stuff that can help you with anything. And that's just what I felt comfortable in. But I would encourage you to do research on the highest APYs and yields, because I know there's some accounts out there going closer to 4% or higher than that at this date. But yeah, I would encourage just do whatever you're comfortable in. Don't do anything that's a little bit too good to be true. I know it can be that I thought it was too good to be true, right? Because my savings account was 0.05, and then you see something, for example, 3.5, and it's like, how is there that big of a difference? But Chase just, I don't know, that's how they didn't have to pay interest, I guess. They just took advantage of people who didn't really know 100% what the best option was. So anyways, do your own research, find what you're comfortable in, and there's a couple things that you have to make sure. You have to make sure it's protected, just in case anything happens with it. I think it's FDIC insured. I think that's, I could be wrong, but I think that's the insurance behind it. And they can insure, most of these accounts can insure up to like $250,000 or something ridiculous. Me personally, and especially if you're watching this and you're in university or wherever you are, I'm not going to have that much in a savings account, at least at this moment. But make sure it's insured. And then for me, or someone just starting out in savings accounts that doesn't have too much money, make sure there's no fees, because some of these high savings accounts will have fees, or the ones who are predatory will have fees. And make sure there's no minimum deposit or minimum savings deposit or just balance. Because another thing is a lot of these higher end HYSAs, which are good, like if you have the liquid cash to put into those accounts, then go for those ones. I mean, they're going to give you the higher percentage yield. But I don't have that much, so I would recommend just starting with nothing, with any fees or a minimum deposit. And I can vouch for American Express, their HYSAs. No fees, it's insured, and no minimum. And they have 3.5 APY, which is really good, especially right now. It's higher than Capital One. Capital One's 360 high yield savings is another like really popular one. That's at 3.4 right now. So Amex has a higher APY than they do. Yeah, they're both really good. Again, anything that you're comfortable with. If you're already in like the ecosystem and things like that, and you're comfortable with one, just go with that one. It doesn't make that big of a difference. Another thing about the savings is, oh my goodness, is make sure you budget yourself, especially at university and college. I find myself doing this. I'm going into my spring semester of freshman year, so I still haven't had that much experience, but I've learned a lot in this time. And you get into college, you have so much freedom, right? There's so many things that you can do. There's so many things that you can spend money on. That's the big thing. Watch your spending, budget yourself. And I know there's like, you want to experience everything. But I mean, you have 4 years, right? And you're going to be, presuming you're staying at the same university, nothing's going to go away. Like, they're always going to be there. So you have 4 years to experience everything. So budget yourself, right? Think about the small things, right? Going out to eat, entertainment, things like that. All those things that come with cost, right? Those little things can add up, especially if you're trying to save. And I've been a victim of this too, where I see I have money in my account, right? For example, my Chase checking account, I had a lot of money in there just sitting because I didn't know where to put it. And when I got to college, I was like, man, I have this amount of money. I can get anything. I can do whatever I want. And I burned through a lot of that money on stupid things that I very much regret. If I had taken that amount and put it in a savings account, I would have been a lot more happy now. Like, now I would have been a lot more happy. But with that, make sure whenever you're budgeting, you're not doing like a 90-10 split where you go like 90% savings, 10% leisure money, right? You only have a certain amount of time. This is a little deep, but you only have a certain amount of time on this earth, right? And I mean, whatever you believe, everyone passes away, and you can't plan it. So although you are saving, make sure you enjoy life. Go out and do things. Have fun with your friends. Spend a little bit of money. Whatever brings you joy. Enjoy your life. But with that, remember, hopefully you will have some longevity, and by saving now will improve your life later on. Anyway, so getting out of that a little bit deep conversation, when you're saving, it seems so hard to save, right? You just want to spend things, you want to buy new things, you have that want. And that's biological, right? When we were like primal, and very, what's the word? I forgot the word, but when we were earlier in our evolution, food was not there and abundant for us, right? You had to work, you had to hunt, you had to do things like that. So the brain is wired when it sees something that it needs / wants, it's gonna instantly try to get it. And that's just biologically how we are. So every time you save, you're actually going against that biology. And you're telling yourself, no, don't do that. Like you're literally pushing against what's wired in our head. For example, if you go out to eat, like, oh my gosh, that hibachi looks so good, right? You smell it, your mouth gets watery, you're like, it's right there, it's so close. But you know you have food at home. Pushing yourself to go home and eat, that is gonna help you in the long term. And that's a big thing that I discovered. I spent a lot of money on food, especially at university. It's just so easy. I mean, there's food out on campus, there's food everywhere, you smell it, you're like, that smells so good. But groceries day in and day out are gonna be cheaper than going out. Again, have some money set aside that you can go enjoy restaurants and things like that. But the majority of the time, try to eat on your own, try to eat your groceries. And yeah, that'll just make it a lot easier to save money. Yeah, once you start saving and once you battle that instinct of spending money, this is so annoying. It's gonna get easier. The more that you see, or as you see your bank account grow from $10 to $50 to $100 to $150 to $300 to $500 to $1,000 and so forth, that growth is going to be addicting, because then you see what your money's going to. Because when you haven't hit a payout or dividend or whatever you want to call it, your interest, it seems like you're just putting away for no reason, right? Like this money could be spent, but it's just sitting there. But it's really not. You have to trust that you're going to get interest out of this and you're going to get more money than you put in. And once you see it, that's when you really start to get addicted to it. Another thing is just saving money in general, right? Big way to save money, savings account. I mean, HYSA, high yield savings accounts. I already talked about that. But just saving in general, right? Credit cards, which are kind of have a bad connotation to them. That's kind of automatically attached to credit cards. But if you can master credit cards, right, and really take advantage of them, you're really just saving money. That's all it is. Let's say you have a 2% cash back on everything. Let's just say everything to make it easy. 2% cash back. Every time you swipe that card, you're getting a 2% discount. That's the easiest way to look at it. It's a 2% discount. You wouldn't get that 2% discount if you paid with debit or with cash. So you're literally saving money by doing the exact same thing that you would be doing. It's the easiest way to save money, by buying things. But you have to be careful, right? Obviously. My number one rule with a credit card is only spend what you have, or that you're willing to spend. So for example, after you finish budgeting, after you finish putting money away, and then you have that leisure money, only spend on the credit card what you have in your leisure money that you're comfortable with. For example, if I have, let's do a small one, $50 in leisure money, and I want to buy this $10, or I want to go to McDonald's and get a meal, $10, right? Swipe my credit card, boom, 2% discount, easy like that, $40 left. And obviously I'm not accounting for the discount. And then I see this game that I really want, $35. Swipe it. Now I have, what is that? $5 left. 10 plus 35, 45, $5 left. And when you have that $5, it's gonna be so tempting to keep swiping with your credit card, right? Because your credit card has that available balance. And it's gonna say like $100 or however much your credit card balance is, or your available balance is. And it's like, man, I have all this money that I can just spend. Don't do it. Just wait till you get paid, or if your parents send you money or someone sends you money, then do that. Because the moment you get behind, the moment you can't immediately pay for what you bought, you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're increasing the chances that you're going to go in debt. So just don't do it. Instantly pay off your credit cards. Don't spend a lot. Save. Just think about the long term, right? That's all you have to do. But yeah, to summarize, start saving today. Put some money in a high yield savings account. Research what has the highest APY. Make sure it's insured. Make sure no fees, no minimum deposits. Make sure you're comfortable with it. Set up a budget. There's plenty of videos about budgeting and things like that. I'll probably do one as well. If you feel that you can handle a credit card, get one. I have a video about the Sabre one, or I guess it's the Sabre now, Capital One. And that's my favorite beginner credit card. It's got really good rates and things like that. It's a free discount. As long as you can hold yourself accountable to not spending what you don't have, it's a free discount. You're saving money immediately. And yeah, just think about the long term. Again, have leisure money, enjoy your life. Yeah, I hope you learned something. If you did, hit the like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.